know, one of the things that I noticed in that trailer right away is the unique art style. It seems like a mix between Arabian and Persian.
Yeah, we kind of used Persian and Arabian kind of architecture and landscapes. You got it. To inspire us. And so you'll be fighting in like beautiful white marble palaces or scattered desert ruins throughout the matches.
Yeah, I mean, how did you wind up settling on that sort of style for this type of game?
Well, it was something that we hadn't really seen done before, and also gave us a great opportunity to create contrast. So you have kind of this beautiful, pristine-looking area, and then you have this kind of really harsh desert area. And also, we just kind of wanted it to, we have kind of like really clean colors and bright colors, and we wanted to kind of feel like a calm, you know, almost peaceful setting. And then people will go in there and just shatter that with violence.
And all the rah, screaming and the intensity. I love seeing the blocking action there.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge thing for us is really, you know, the satisfaction, the crunch of combat is about half of the game experience that we're making here. So,
when can I play it?
It's coming out fall this year, and there's going to be a beta at the end of the summer.
Well, that was awesome. What an easy answer. Ladies and gentlemen, from Torn Banner Studios, Steve Pigott. Thanks so much for coming out, Steve. Our next game coming up is absolutely darling. It gives you the opportunity to make all your own spells. Let's take a look at Mages of Mystralia.
Mages can shape magic into whatever they want. They combine runes into patterns, just like constellations in the starry sky. And in this bewildering darkness, they're the valley's only hope. So, tell me, what spells will you create?
Just charming. Love that video. Coming up next, we have a new game mode for a game that really just surprises me the entire lifetime of a game called Warframe, where they snuck in 2013 and really without making that much noise, quietly crept up to being one of the most played games on Steam right now. Let's take a look at their upcoming game mode, Warframe Lunaro.
My pupil, you have honored the Tenno, scaling the bone mountains of war. You have attained mastery, paid for in blood and suffering. But even the greatest warriors need a reprieve from combat. And so it is with Lunaro, the honor sport of a lost time. Here you will grow new dimensions of skill. Focused not on violence, but on teamwork and coordination. Your prize, not war spoils, but friendship and harmony. Lunaro teams at the ready.
Well, as a huge fan of Rocket League, I kind of feel like I'm going to be a huge fan of that. Now, we're not done with upcoming announcements for Warframe. Do we have any Warframe players here right now? Yes, you're allowed to clap. We have an exclusive giveaway for all sorts of upcoming goodies in this next video. Let's go ahead and take a look. And now coming up is the final game that we will be talking about today. They're revisiting us from last year, here to talk about the very first level of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Join me in welcoming Jean-Francois Dugas and Patrick Fortier from Eidos Montreal. Woo! Welcome.
Thanks,
Good to see you. Hey, pleasure to see you. Now, let's kick it right off. Talk to me about this first level, Dubai.
Well, Dubai, it's the first map of the game, and actually it bridges the gap between Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, in the sense that in the last game, it was all about transhumanism, what you can be and everything. And we used the Icarus myth to illustrate that idea, like if you fly with your wings, it's all the possibilities, the full potential of what you can be, but if you go too close to the sun, you can burn your wings and then eventually fall into the sea. And basically, at the beginning of this game, it's really black and gold, but especially gold. And so it represents like this dream. And Jensen goes into his first mission, and there's the sunset like we see on screen right now. And Jensen dives into an old abandoned hotel under construction. And it was built by augmented people, and now what you see, it's the remaining of that. And it's basically saying that at the beginning of this game, it's the end of the Icarus myth, it's the end of the dream, and now we're going into a darker world.
I'm really excited to take a look at this gameplay footage. So you all know, because I know there's someone on Twitch right now who's like, hey, wait a minute, this is on PC. It's just being played with a PlayStation controller. That's why you're seeing those controls show up. So again, this is the PC footage that we're taking a look at. So Patrick, walk me through the sort of construction of this level, what it is that communicates all the different ways that you can play Deus Ex.
Gameplay-wise, one of the things that's really important for us is we're presenting a different Jensen who's much more comfortable with his augmentations. We wanted that to translate to the gameplay as well, so we're really looking for a lot of fluidity, really dynamic system. So one of the things that we're seeing there is like the new cover system. So you can actually do cover to cover forward and the cover vault. You can do takedowns from cover. You can have access to the augmentations a little differently on the fly as well. So that Dubai level is actually an introduction to all that, or a refresher course for people that are a little bit more familiar with Human Revolution.
I mean, well, I feel like one of the big themes of people who are huge fans of Deus Ex is non-lethal playthroughs, just playing through in that sneaky fashion. Talk to me about some of that being incorporated here.
Well, the really fun part is that the way that we design a lot of the augmentations, we're really putting it, we're really seeing it as tools that we're trying to empower players with, and then it's up to them how they want to use it. So even something like the stealth augmentation is something that you could use it to sneak around and really be invisible. You could use it for combat as well. If you just want to flank somebody and move to another side. A lot of the augmentations are thought that way. Like the PEPs, the gun arm is something like that as well. You can take out people non-lethally. You can do it from a corner, but you could also use it in combat. If somebody throws a grenade at you, and you could PEPs it back to them. And you could, So we're really trying to come up with ways of letting players be creative with our elements.
And I feel like in terms of the narrative, also to the ability for players to shape it with their choices. How does that factor into Mankind Divided?
Well, it's super important. We really wanted to push the choice and consequence experience. And for us, it was not only about big moments, you choose A or B, and then it takes a different course. But it's also when you interact with characters, depending on how you answer to them, like they will react differently if you see them afterwards and things like that. So we really wanted to have different layers of choice and consequence. And for example, in the Dubai level, it starts right away at the beginning when they tell you like we have to do this mission quick, and there's this sandstorm is coming and everything. And depending on how you play, you can finish the mission without the sandstorm. But if you take your time or whatever, you can end up in the sandstorm, and now the visibility is affected, but for everyone. And it changes also with the AI, how they're going to react. And there's a chopper that is about to take off, and maybe it's going to delay the takeoff and things like that.
That's awesome. And now we got the chance to talk a little bit yesterday about the sort of customization settings that were core, even extending all the way into the interface. I mean, Patrick, you talk to me a little bit about those features.
It's really important for players to be able to customize their game experience, and some of the stuff that we're doing with UI is really interesting as well. You can actually scale the UI if you want it to be like very, very unobtrusive, or if you want it to be more present and really use the radar properly. You can take some stuff out if you don't want to have any interaction glow and stuff, and you want the really hardcore experience. Or you can actually put it to sleep, and so you have it contextual depending on when you're using energy or weapons. Otherwise, you know, you get the clean UI. So it's really important for the whole player freedom philosophy to translate into the options, into the game experience as well.
It's been a real pleasure to see the updates for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Jean-Francois Dugas and Patrick Fortier from Eidos Montreal, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming out.
Pleasure.
And that is our final game to announce and to talk about today. However, it is not our last segment. In the same way that Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the exciting, most recent iteration, Deus Ex, the original game, still shows up on top lists when I talk to my friends about their favorite PC games of all time too. It keeps coming up again and again. And the man that made Deus Ex has been in the industry for 2 decades, and we wanted to invite him to the stage to talk about the future of PC gaming to close us out. Please join me in welcoming a legend of the industry, Warren Spector.
Okay, before I get started, it's been 3 decades in the game business, not just 2. And I want to thank the PC Gamer folks for letting me come out here and speak to all of you folks. I wish I had something to announce. You have no idea how much I wish I had something to announce, but I don't. So what I want to talk about today is the past, present, and future of the PC as a gaming platform. So as I'm sure you all know, there was a time not so long ago when it was common to hear people opining that the PC was dead as a gaming platform. Frankly, I fell prey to that thinking myself. For much of my career, from 1989 through 2004, from Ultima 6 to Deus Ex, I was a PC guy all the way. When we started working on Deus Ex in 1997, there was never a question what our target platform would be. The PC was it. But then, right after we shipped, came the request to do a PS2 version. I should have seen what was coming next. When we started working on Deus Ex Invisible War and Thief Deadly Shadows, we had new marching orders. Those games would be developed for the Xbox. The PC version was, well, I probably shouldn't say this, but the PC version was kind of an afterthought, which some of you may have noticed. When we started working on Disney Epic Mickey, there was never a question. We'd be a console game. We'd be a Wii exclusive, which, as a note, was a great decision. It was the right decision from a business standpoint. But the bottom line on all of this, publishers wanted console games, and developers like me had no choice but to go where the money was, and the money was on console. I spent several years in that world, many years, always secretly hoping that the PC would make a comeback. And here we are in 2016 with PC enthusiasm at a fever pitch. I mean, just look at what you've seen today. So what changed things? Well, social media, for one. Non-gamers discovered they could play games on Facebook. Now, some of you may not like that, but it's a fact. New gamers, a whole lot of them, came along who had never touched a console controller, never even really thought about playing a game. For more traditional game fans, most of you, I suspect, social media had an impact in other ways. Streaming services like Twitch gave players and fans new ways to experience games they love, or maybe that they'd end up loving. Thanks to Twitch, there are a few better ways to interact with fellow gamers than on the PC. But there are other reasons for the resurgence of interest in PC as a gaming platform. Perhaps most important, the PC now offers tools like Unity and Unreal and others that allow small groups of modders and indie developers to create new content for existing games or even make the game of their dreams. The PC, then, is the only truly democratic platform open to anyone with a great idea. And clearly, there are plenty of people with great ideas out there. If you need any evidence of the vitality and originality of the indie space, look no further than Braid, Kentucky Route Zero, Undertale, Rocket League, Gone Home, The Stanley Parable, The Binding of Isaac, Limbo, Spelunky, Papers, Please, Kerbal Space Program. I mean, don't starve, countless more. Go one step further, and there's Minecraft. Now, Minecraft is unmatched by any other game or platform at grabbing the attention and stealing the time of kids and adults, as well as creating a community of players and training future game creators. Now, Minecraft, as we all know, exists on many platforms now, but it exploded on the PC. In fact, you have no idea how much damage Minecraft did to the development of Disney Epic Mickey, okay? That's a whole other story. But what good would all of those personally meaningful, artful, unique games and all those new creators mean if they couldn't reach an audience? The PC has that problem licked too. With digital distribution systems, let me try that again. With digital distribution systems like Steam and itch.io and Humble Bundle, anyone with an idea can execute against that idea and reach an audience with it. Go back 5 years, and this was simply not the case. To make a game and reach an audience, I needed money, a lot of it. I needed a big team. I needed a way of reaching an audience trained to buy software in brick and mortar stores. In other words, I needed a publisher. Now, there are new ways of reaching audiences, and they all took off first on PC. And by the way, now that I've dissed on publishers, I'm never going to work again. Great. I love you, publishers. So what else makes the PC special and more relevant than ever? There are whole categories of games that simply play better on PC than anywhere else. I'm talking about RTSs. You've seen several of those today. MOBAs like League of Legends. Esports, which turn PC gaming from solo or small group activities into spectator-friendly events, accessible not only online, but increasingly in mainstream media. Open your eyes. And where better to play an MMO than on a PC? The incredible success of World of Warcraft and these other forms of gaming speaks not just to the relevance of PCs, but in some areas, the absolute dominance of the platform. Consoles are great. Don't get me wrong, I love consoles. They offer consistent controls and typically never-changing hardware specs, but well, you never know what's coming. But those great strengths are also great weaknesses. Consoles depend on developers learning to exploit existing, mostly unchanging hardware more effectively each year. By contrast, PCs genuinely grow in capability over time. And you know how developers are. We want to utilize every erg of power available. We know that gamers can upgrade their machines to keep pace with our games, games that get more and more impressive, and one would hope better, all the time. PCs offer gamers and developers ever-increasing power no other platform can match. Developers live for that, and gamers are the big winners when power and creativity come together. Players benefit from the PC's open-endedness in other ways as well. You just heard a little bit about this, actually, a minute ago. PC gamers have unparalleled capability to customize everything they want in their game, from graphical fidelity to personalized control schemes. The PC puts gamers in charge of their experience in ways that are unique in the world of gaming. The development of games has always begun on PCs. We develop on PCs. But beyond that, we're certainly not blind as developers to the resurrection of the PC as a player-facing platform, with plenty of us focusing on exclusive titles out already or on the way, or at least multi-platform titles that offer rich PC experiences along with console counterparts. Games like Star Citizen, Bard's Tale 4, Civilization 6, Might and Magic 7, Overwatch, Unreal Tournament, XCOM 2, new entries in the Shadowrun and Warhammer series, add-ons to World of Warcraft. And if I can be so bold, I've just joined a company called Otherside Entertainment, and the company I work for today is putting a great deal of effort into ensuring that PC versions of Underworld Ascendant and System Shock 3 offer terrific PC gameplay. So the PC is alive and well in 2016. In fact, you could argue that things have never looked better. The future, and I mean the near future, is one of 4K displays, motion and haptic controllers, virtual reality, augmented reality, and frankly, given the ingenuity of hardware developers and game developers, things we can't even imagine today. And where's it all going to happen first? On the PC, that's where. We live in a golden age, an age where anyone can make a game, where there's a game for everyone, where price points range from freemium to premium, and where there's a distribution method to meet just about anyone's needs. And right at the heart of these things is the good old PC. No, the great new PC, right where it belongs at the center of an ever-growing gaming ecosystem. So thanks for having me here. That's all I have to say. And here's to the great PC games yet to come.
Thank you so much, Warren Spector. That is the end of the official main PC gaming show. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you on Twitch for tuning in. Huge thanks to all of our partners that made this possible: Bohemia, Tripwire, Gameforge, Frontier, Razer, and of course AMD and PC Gamer for putting this all together. This isn't the end of the content. The post-game show is coming up right after this. So if you'd like to stay in the theater or if you'd like to stay online, we would love to have you. Without any further ado, go forth and enjoy E3, and we hope you make a friend and play a lot of games. Cheers.